There's been tons of talk over this past year about Chevrolet and how with the Camaro going away, they're going to have something new when it comes to their car in NASCAR in 2026 and beyond. And there was plenty when it came to hype. There was plenty of rumors going around. How Cadillac at one point was thrown around. And with it, we have finally gotten to see it, and it looks exactly the same as the old car. Now, I know that it's not a one-for-one the same. I know that there are big differences, and it was at least put out there that their differences are there. And it's already being tested by Alex Bowman at the Bristol Motor Speedway during their tire test. But I gotta say, it is kind of a letdown a little bit, I have to admit. I mean, we all were thinking maybe something brand new would be put out there. Maybe Chevrolet would go in a completely different direction. And yeah, maybe there might be some, I guess, downturn for a little while from the Chevy teams like there was in 2018 when they went from the Chevy SS to the Camaro. But there's not, I don't think. I mean, this is very, very similar. So in their statements too, and a few tweets from Jeff Gluck and Bob Pockrass, they did list out at least the differences from there. And in it, there was the statements that the latest edition of the Camaro ZL1 race car will feature upgraded styling that aligned with Chevy's recently released Camaro ZL1 Carbon Performance Package accessories kit for owners to optimize the performance capabilities of the 6th generation Camaro. And Chevrolet collaborated with NASCAR and its teams on this update. The most prominent race car changes are a larger hood power dome, a revised front grille, and more pronounced rocker panels along the sides of the cars. These mirror the new Carbon Performance Package's carbon fiber hood inserts and rockers, plus the ZL1 1LE's spec front grille and splitter. Again, little changes, but I think that this is definitely not what a lot of fans were wanting, expecting, whichever way you want to go about it. And you have to ask, though, from this point forward, the last Camaro after this year will have been 3 years before. So do they just have a blank Chevrolet slate from this point forward? Is there going to be a new car from there, or is it just going to be, nothing altogether, and it's just going to basically be Chevy getting to skirt the rules by different technicalities? That's probably my biggest question with all of this as well. And I want to know that. I want to know if it's going to be different from there. And I think everybody else does too. Now, on the other side of news, Adam Stern had a tweet that kind of was a Stern bomb saying that, quote, NASCAR informed some team executives before the end of the 2025 season that retaining a playoff was the most likely outcome of its championship system review, according to people familiar with the matter, but its final decision remains unclear. Well, this will be really handled well. And I got to admit that this one kind of got me in the sense that I have wanted some kind of major changes, and I have not made it in any way unapparent that I want it to be a 36 race championship. And I think a lot of people have joined that bandwagon. And, well, the explosion was what you would expect it to be. When somebody like me or Urinating Tree is basically ratioing Adam Stern and NASCAR's talks about this, yeah, you know that there's going to be a lot of talk about it. And with it too, there is a little bit to kind of dig into with it. In the article, it was talked about that this was before the championship weekend in Phoenix. At that point was when we were really hearing it heat up that a 10-race chase was more the direction that they were looking towards. And with that, I do think that that's probably the direction they're going, but I can't put it past NASCAR yet to throw some kind of curveball into it. I can't put it past NASCAR to put some kind of gimmicks into it, maybe have a bunch of other rules or too many drivers or something like that. But this, to me, was a golden opportunity for NASCAR to reimagine itself, to get back to roots like they talked about, and I just don't think they're going to do it. Maybe there's going to be a big enough swell of grassroots support to change their mind, but I really don't think that's going to be the case. And it's important to kind of also note that, and it went especially viral on Reddit for NASCAR, that on the Hauler Talk podcast, Mike Ford on there had been talking about the format side of it and basically came out and admitted that, yeah, IndyCar and Formula One have a more legitimate championship than NASCAR. And with that, you have to kind of question when they keep throwing gas on the fire of 36, even if it's more than likely not happening, why do you keep throwing that gasoline on the fire? You know, you got to watch your words more. And it's not just him, it's a lot of people. I mean, Steve O'Donnell was talking about 36 races. You had people inside the sport like Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gluck and others who talked about it. And I can't blame people for getting their hopes up. I got them up a little bit, even though I knew in my brain, yeah, that's probably not going to be the most likely outcome. I wanted it to be. So, you know, I think there's been a lot of talk around this of, did NASCAR handle this right? You know, announcing early on that they were having a committee and then bringing up all the options. To be fair, NASCAR was very transparent in just about the entire process with this. They were transparent about there being a possible change coming, that now it will be coming, and what the options have been. And they haven't been committal towards really any. Outside of now, they're saying playoffs are more than likely to be there, but just like other reports, it's more that, well, the full season's still on the table, but it's the least likely option thing. And I appreciate the transparency, especially when you look back at the Brian France era where it was just a dictatorship and he would go on some bender and come back and make a bunch of dumb rules for the next year. So I do really appreciate that side of it. And I think that should be known. But on the other side of it too, if they do a 10-race chase, I think it would have been a lot more well-received had they not had 8 months of this conversation growing and really finding the answers that at the end of the day, especially if they don't go to 36, the answers from the industry, fans and drivers, everyone alike, that they probably didn't want to find. A lot of people who usually stay quiet started talking. And with that, they said opinions that surprised a lot of people. Look at the way Dale Jr. talks about the end of the committee when he was on Dale Jr. Download, and he's talking about how it surprised him that over half of the people in his committee ended up switching over to that side of the argument. So I get both sides of it. I think it's good that they took so long and are taking so long. And who knows, maybe something will change since then. We've had multiple changes from a final 5-5 to a 3-3-4 to a 10-race chase. There's been so many changes that it probably will change again in some way before they announce it, more than likely in January. But at the same time, maybe keeping it a little more quiet would have done a lot of people well, especially if they don't do full season, because I have a feeling there's a lot of people that this could be that final straw. And I know people don't want to admit that. I know they'll keep saying they'll come back next year, but the last 21 years of NASCAR TV ratings do not prove that to be correct. So that's just frustrating, man. It's in a frustrating time, and I don't think anybody's going to be really happy. They're just going to say, meh, I'll take it. And that's a great way to go into a new season looking at your championship. So with that, I want to know what you think. Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like in this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support. And until next time, have a good one.